Today we're going to be checking out the P2001 Plus power station from Oukitel and putting it through a bunch of tests, including a max AC output test, an AC capacity test, a charging speed test, and more to see how it performs. And at the moment you can pick up this power station for the early bird price of $859, but normally it will be priced at $1299, and we will be referencing the $1299 price in the video. But if you pick it up earlier and save, this power station is definitely an exceptional deal. And this is going to be a great choice for those of you who need a high output power station with a great capacity with all the modern features, and it delivers all of this at a very competitive price point. Let's start off by looking at the core features of the P2001 Plus, and the first thing that really stands out about this power station is this huge display, which is a lot brighter than the other displays I've seen in the past, and it's going to tell you the estimated remaining runtime on the left, the percentage of the battery life in the center, and to the right, the input and output speeds, as well as indications of whether or not the AC, DC, and USB ports are active. On the left of the display, we've got a knob which allows you to adjust the AC power, and to the right, we've got the power button. Beneath that, we've got 4 AC outputs and a button to turn them on and off, and all of the ports are protected by covers. In the center, there's an assortment of USB ports, including a handful of Type-Cs, one of which is a 100-watt port, which is going to be good for your quick charging devices, and there's also a couple of Type-A ports. To the left, there's a DC output section with a cigarette lighter style output and a pair of 12-volt 3-amp DC outputs. There's a hidden compartment on top of the power station, which is convenient for storing the included AC charging cable and the car outlet charging cable, but there's a bit more room in here where you could store some additional USB cables, and on the right side there's an AC input and also a solar charging input as well. There is an app you can download which will give you the real-time status of the device, as long as it's connected to Wi-Fi, and this is one of the first times that I've actually gotten a power station app to work with my phone, and this is going to give you most of the data you would see on the screen from the convenience of your phone, and this information does update in real time down to a port level, which is pretty incredible information. We're going to do some testing to see how well the P2001 Plus holds up to its advertised specs, and we'll start off with an AC output test and see if we can continuously run at 2400 watts, and in order to test this we're going to plug in a bunch of different watt-hungry devices, including this air fryer and also a hair dryer, and together these are running at about 2300 watts. And when I crank up the hairdryer to its highest setting, it overloads the power station, causing it to shut off, but I can easily turn it back on, and I'm going to add a box fan to the load, and now we're running right over the 2400 watt mark, which is slightly better than advertised, so I would say that it definitely passes this test. Now that the battery is drained, we're going to test out some of the rapid charging speeds mentioned on the product page, and we'll start off with the 0 to 80% speed test, which is only supposed to take about 60 minutes and reach 1800 watts, and then we'll keep charging until we reach 100%. We're all plugged in now at about 10:10 a.m. and we'll keep an eye on it to see how it goes, and after a few minutes the charging speeds did jump up quite a bit. After 60 minutes I'm checking in to see where we're at, and it's reading a charge of 69%, which is a little bit shy of the 80% claimed, but overall it's pretty close, and this is a significant amount for such a short period of time. And we were able to reach a full charge at 12:04, which was just about 1 hour and 56 minutes, which is really good for a power station this large. Now we're going to test the watt hours using the AC output to see how close we can get to the 2048 watt hours claimed, and to do this we're going to be using a power meter, and we're going to plug in a hair dryer and run it at about half the rated output until the battery is completely drained. So after we completed that, we can check the power meter, and we see that it registered 1859 watts, which is 91% of what it was claimed, and overall it is very good compared to many of the other power stations that I've tested. Another test I like to do is a fridge runtime test, and this one is pretty straightforward and good for those of you who might want to use the power station to keep your food in your fridge from spoiling during a power outage. And what I do is plug in a fridge and use it normally as I would throughout the day. And I started this at 7:23 a.m. and the fridge was able to run until 11:50 p.m. So the total runtime was 17 hours and 37 minutes, which is one of the longest run times that I've gotten from any power station so far. Finally, we're going to end by testing out the uninterrupted power supply feature, and to do this we've got a surge protector with my computer and monitor and some other accessories plugged into the power station while the power station is charging, and we're going to unplug the power station from the charger, and we can see there was no interruption to the power, so the UPS mode definitely does work well on this power station. and this would make a good option for those of you who need a reliable backup for computers if you can't afford to risk a power outage situation. Overall, I do think that the P2001 Plus power station from Oukitel is a great value power station, and it does hold up very well, not only to the advertised specs, but it also does well against many of the power stations that we've looked at previously on the channel. And if you want to see how it compares to those, you can check out a link to a database down below, but it does deliver a very affordable cost per watt hour at about 70 cents at the $12.99 price point, and if you can get a better deal on it, this number will obviously improve. Thanks for watching the video, and if you want to learn more about the P2001 Plus and support the channel, check out the links down in the description below.